Lesson 2.4 Fourth Industrial Revolution. The reversal from the real and original understanding to focus instead on its final effects is completed by the double equation. The fourth industrial revolution is for industry, given that it's industrial, and specifically with the manufacturing industry. 2. For its digitization, given that it's digital. The digitization of industry has become an end unto itself. The introduction of digital technologies in industrial processes has become the focus from the modernization of the economy and social system. The aim of institutional action is therefore to improve production efficiency through the internal optimization of production processes, to be achieved through the introduction of information technologies. The perspective error impact on initiative to support the territories throughout the transition stage. Those economy and social systems haven't been asked to consider the force and impact on society of the revolution underway, but to treat it simply as an issue to be managed within the industrial system. This tendency, shown by the majority of public and private players that work to support the development, confirms the self-referentiality of their approach. The set of initiatives in place falls fully within the schema, focusing on the transformation of the internal processes of industry as a lever for competitiveness. Thus, on the one hand, we are faced with the challenge of major revolution which is impacting all items in society, and on the other hand, we have a conception which interprets the digital transformation as an internal issue for enterprises, tied to efficiency improvements, thereby neglecting the implication for people and for markets. We should adopt a more general understanding of the dynamics at play to address the issue of the digital transformation for society with a more systemic approach. Instead, we have encouraged the enterprises toward the automation and the computerization of production processes. Many institutions are focusing on a priori on choosing the intervention for optimized production processes, rather than earmarking finance resources for action aimed to current social challenges. This interpretation should take into consideration the plurality and complexity of the elements involved, including an assessment of how the digital revolution is impacting markets and changing our behavior. But public and private institutions committed to supporting local development beckon upon the operational plane by an overriding tendency to offer company services designed to support the introduction of technologies for the digitization of production. Contributing to development of these misleading trends were the consulting firms which opened the floodgates for digitization with analysis and reports promoting the argumentative framework in its favor. In a 2015 study by McKinsey & Company dedicated to the fourth industrial revolution, is focused on the digitization of the manufacturing sector and reported that 18% of the positive impact on enterprises concern and will concern the improved efficiency of production processes, while only 20% relates to aspects concerning knowledge of changes in market and demand. That explains the extraordinary focus and media attention dedicated to the introduction of technology to optimize internal operation processes, improve the efficiency of production and contain costs, and as an intervention to boost the competitiveness of the system. The key words of the media have become efficiency, investment, technology, new technologies, enterprise, productivity, and automation. Media coverage has adopted the message as its own. The media have transformed it into a slogan, obtaining the effect of raising it to the status of 1. True, validity, groundedness, rightfulness, that is entered into everyday language and, above all, everyday common sense. Thus, even out the policymakers have shown a significant preference for issues internal to industrial processes, with the focus and resources oriented in that direction. In this perspective, the transportation of the instrumental plan to that of finality has become complete and consolidated. The introduction of technology into industry has become itself the goal to be pursued, with policy, technical and media action all geared towards that objective. The lack of strategic vision would appear to be firmly rooted in plans shaped by a self-referential framework. On the one hand, it's clear for all to see that the rising tide of the impending revolution is changing our very way of living and looking us with its implication. On the other hand, the response prepared by the policy is essentially based on the so-called Industry 4.0 plan and its support for a series of enterprise restructuring interventions that are the reorganization of productive operation in effort to render production processes more efficient, but without calling into question in any way their relationship with reference markets or re-engineering the production towards new goods and new services. All the players in the field would appear to have uncritically embraced the approach, without raising any doubt over the lack of any preliminary analysis of the Industrial Revolution, unfolding as we speak and its implication on markets for goods and services.